pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Why's That. And now, here we go with number 29 out of 65. So here, with number 29, the question that I have actually talks about the high quality of my videos itself. This is something I could pretty much get into at this point, so let's just get started with it. The question down here in this screenshot says, why is that you upload your content at 1080p with HD clarity? And now, that one's rather simple to me, because what I can say about that for sure is that, well, for one, I upload my content at 1080p because that is in fact a typical frame size of high quality video, and HD clarity is simply there because, well, that's what a lot of us try to get into nowadays. Sure, sometimes it might be affected by some interesting factors out there, like the type of camera you're using, and more importantly, the kind of frame size and the kind of frame rate that it can exude, or with the type of coloration that it can also project. But I've had a lot of cameras ever since I started my channel. I first started with a couple really small cameras that did have some storage on them, like a camera with a fold-out USB drive onto it. And I also had a couple of cameras that actually utilized tapes. That's right. I had a couple of cameras back in the day that used analog tape. It's a pretty old feat, but it actually worked for what they were. But of course, progressing towards the digital age, I did have quite a few cameras then, because I did have an Olympus digital camera as well as another digital camera that was more like an actual camcorder, but it was a really, really bulky smartphone shaped, or it would have been the shape of an actual smartphone, but it was much bigger and a lot more girthier. And it also had its own folding, well, hand on the side of it. I don't actually have all the cameras that I've used back then, but trust me when I say it, but I've definitely had a lot. But of course it actually got better from then on out, because I eventually got into an actual camcorder with a flip-out screen. And since then, that's basically what I've been trying to do. I've been getting into the more DSLR-based cameras out there with the best of quality that I could possibly find. One of them that I'm currently using right now is a Sony Handycam, 9.2 megapixels, and can zoom in pretty far, actually. This one I bought for about $180. Yeah. A $180 Sony HD camcorder. This was indeed one of the cameras that I've had during my summer 2018 resurgence. If you don't recall from when I had made a face reveal after a ton of videos of mine had been uploaded, especially during the dark age of Kaiju Force Neo from 2013 to 2018, that's basically what's been happening. I've kept my face hidden from the internet temporarily. And that's only because that huge incident that took place, as awful as it sounds, I was able to try and do my best to completely evade the consequences from it. But eventually I was able to get caught uploading new videos to my channel. Of course, I could refer you back to that one video all day, but still, the question doesn't necessarily talk about those kind of things in my life, but rather why I had to upload videos at 1080p with HD clarity. Well, calling back to March 2019, which has been more than a year, that was the time where I had simply highlighted the fact that I've been uploading videos at around 360p. Yeah, it was really crappy, actually. Because looking back at the first, 200 episodes or so of Gaming with Kaiju Force Neo, it was around that time, March 2019, that I realized that I could have done a whole lot better with myself. Especially in terms of how I could have simply done a lot more effort into high quality production. But yet, I had failed to realize that. As a matter of fact, I had failed to realize that almost ever since the very beginning of my channel's existence. If only there was some way to change the frame size to 1080p and include HD clarity in every one of my older videos up until that point in time, March 2019, was the time where I started to upload videos the right way, with 1080p in them and HD clarity, as well as a few other, well, graphic add-ons to them. But it was only at that point up until today, here in July 2020, more than a year later, where simply put, it continues to grow strong. And I can tell you right now that looking back at some of my more recent videos, they look way better. Way better than everything else. I can't stress that enough. I mean, considering how far I've come along ever since that point in time, I was able to make so much high quality content, but it does come at a little price. It causes the rendering times of my videos to become much longer than expected. I guess I'll talk a little bit more about those because I do have another question about that, but anyways, that's pretty much all you need to know about why my videos have to be high quality all the time and why I have standards for uploading content in general. But I will have more to talk about my content itself at some point because I do have a lot of new questions talking about some things out there, revolving around my channel and revolving around me. But if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.